So I'm pretty sure I've taken a look at this device, and it's been a while. I thought it was like yesterday or something, but this company, litnxt, they hit me up a few weeks ago saying, hey, there's been a bunch of updates to this thing. There's a new custom firmware for it, and that they're selling SD cards, and they're selling the system itself with these updates that drastically improves things, makes things better. You know, with emulation, the front end, all that kind of stuff. I believe it's called CrossMix is what the custom firmware is. So we're going to check that out real quick. Just see what's been done with it. I will post a link to my original video for this thing, because I'm not going to go over every single thing with this device. I mean, I think, if I remember correctly, I thought it was okay. It was a decent little handheld. But yeah, here's the box. I remember this. 2x joysticks. Great, that's a feature. But there we go. I'll put the specs on the screen just as a refresher. But we got about a 5-inch IPS LCD screen. And it did have this little insert. There is like a charge cable and whatnot. This insert tells you how to firmware update. When I plugged in the SD card, because they sell different SD cards, it was a 128 gigabyte one that I got. It did like an update immediately, so I don't know, whatever. But here we go. They got 3 different colors. There's the DMG, the white, and then the black. I got the black one right here. So I remember this front end looking differently on the original one, but I do remember this best screen because I recall there's like a little Pokemon section and whatnot. But with this build that they have, this litnxt company that sent this to me, they have a few little custom, you know, like collections, I guess. You go into like Cowabunga collection and pick, you know, Turtle games are going to be in there. You know, DOS, Game Boy Advance, so on and so forth, right? So neat little just categories. Zelda games, Nintendo 64, so on and so forth. But that's kind of okay, whatever. But let's check out a few things real quick. I noticed this is a little different. We got apps here. If you go into, where was it? I was messing with this for a moment. If you go into Portmaster, right here, this doesn't like, you know, I've talked to people about Portmaster before. It wasn't something I was extremely familiar with. Let me zoom up a little bit here. But if you connect this to Wi-Fi, you can go in here and go to like featured ports. Or no, you can go to like all ports and you could select stuff and like install them. So there's like a lot of stuff here, you know, Shredder's Revenge, Stardew Valley, stuff like that. So you can like install them from here. But there are ones that are already installed. The ready to run ports are already on here, but you can access that through the other screen instead of just going to the Portmaster stuff. So that was just something I wanted to point out with these builds that they have here. But you do have a bunch of ready to run stuff. But let's exit there. I don't know what this random thing is. I'm kind of scared to click it. But you have a screen record option, scraper for artwork. You know, you're connected online. You can get artwork if you add games to this thing. You know what? Let's click random. I have no idea how to start this. This game sounds annoying as all hell. Okay, that's interesting. Let's get out of there though. So, okay, you could click random and it just takes you to a random game. That's what that does. Function key. That's what I was wondering. What the hell is this function key down here? But you got a option there. Let's see what that does. Quiet mode, silent mode, CPU power, performance mode. Oh. So whatever you have that set to, that's what the function key does. So, hey, performance mode, cool. Or you could turn it to turn on turbo. That's kind of weird. Let's go back to emulators. So it may be like a little difficult to see, but it does show how many games are for each emulator here. But let's go to like Dreamcast. 'Cause I do remember playing like Soul Calibur. Or no, not Soul Calibur. I'm pretty sure it was Dead or Alive 2. It might have been Soul Calibur or Dead or Alive 2, where it was, I'll play both of them real quick, where it was like glitched in the beginning in the character select. See if that's fixed. That was kind of weird. Okay, looks good in the select screen there. Dreamcast, it runs decently well on this. I remember PSP was the one that was kind of like a little mixed. I'm not even sure if PSP is on here. But okay, let's get out of there. I think it was Soul Calibur, but yeah. I remember these speakers kind of did bother me a bit. Like when you have them all the way up, they almost sound like they're going to blow out. You do have a headphone jack though. But I could already tell, like, some of these systems do have way too many games. Nintendo 64 only has 31. We'll try out Nintendo 64 in a second, but Neo Geo 299 games, that doesn't make sense. And it's listed twice. MVS and then I'm assuming AES? That is a little sloppy. Oh, PSP is right there. Okay. Super Nintendo 1878. So just because it has a better, newer firmware, like they're still being sloppy with the build. Thousands of games, but you're gonna have tons of duplicates and ROM hacks on some of this stuff. A little bit more care can be, placed on, building this stuff, especially if you're selling SD cards for people who already have this device. Like, I wouldn't buy this SD card. Just seeing, like, I haven't even gone through a lot of this yet, but just seeing it, kind of like, it does look sloppy. Just seeing those numbers, you know what I mean? I don't think I've used a device where Nintendo 64's Wave Race has loaded and looked like this ever. I've had where this game has like had some really bad slowdown, but whatever the hell this is, the frick, dude. All right, never mind. They got some interesting stuff for PSP though. This is Ridge Racer on PSP, and it is, it's running slow. I could tell it's running slow. Audio sounds really freaking bad, dude. I don't know, like, why, like, there's a lot of good handhelds that come out of China, you know what I mean? There's a lot of them. But it's always, like, the builds are what's bad, because you have to, like, That's my biggest criticism. It's like, even with stuff that's underpowered, you have to know the limitations. You can't just ROM dump a bunch of crap onto these things and just sell it. Like, it's disappointing, you know what I mean? Like, if you buy something like this, or like how this company that sent this to me, how they sell SD cards. So you already have this device and you buy an SD card that has a bunch of games on it. And then you find that, like, it's sloppy and a bunch of the games run poorly. Like, doesn't that feel like a waste of money? Like, it would to me. So, I mean, I don't know how other people view this stuff, but I would expect, if I'm buying this, I would expect a little more care in the way that they set them up, you know? That's the way I look at it. That's why I'm always fairly critical with this kind of stuff. Like, I expect more. And I just tell it the way it is. This is kind of sloppy to me. Let's find out if the PS1 games have music. Okay, well, good news is these PS1 games do have music, so they're good ROMs. They didn't pull no weird shenanigans with that. But yeah, overall, it's kind of like, you heard what I just said a moment ago, how I feel about this stuff. If you're interested, link will be down below. Check it out. For me, it's kind of like, come on, you guys could do better with these things. But they're not going to. They're not going to. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. Bye.